G'day guys, it's Scott Alexander King here from Animal Dreaming. Listen, I just thought I would pop on and have a chat about one of my books. I realise that a lot of people are familiar with my books and my cards, my card decks, but some people aren't. And even amongst those who are familiar with my animal work, some might not realise that I've actually also written a book about the afterlife. And the book I'm referring to today, of course, is Afterworld, the journey of life after life. Because in my belief system, life goes on. It doesn't just stop here. Death is sort of something more that the living experience, really, not those who have crossed the bridge to journey to the afterlife. So I wanted to explain that, but I just feel that it's really important that I sort of give a bit of insight into why I wrote this book, and what I hope people are going to get out of it, I guess. I wrote Afterworld after many years. I lost some very, very dear friends in different ways at different times, and they that the fact that that loss, I guess, stopped me in my tracks like it would most people, but it also made me stop and question my own mortality and what life was really all about. And that old question, like that old chestnut, why are we all here? It got me really thinking about that, and it made me stop and wonder, like if I'm experiencing these thoughts, maybe other people are as well. And yes, there was elements of grief, and yes, there was sadness, and yes, there was a desire to give it all purpose, I guess. But it was also my intention of writing this book, sorry, was also driven by my need to just share my experiences, and just in the hope that maybe it might offer peace or yeah, peace, I think, for people. Just answers, because we've all asked that question. I wonder what happens after we pass, what happens after we die. And it's a very tricky question, because like there is essentially no answer. So we have to look to our own devices and look to our own intuition, look to our own belief systems and connections to Great Spirit and all those other things that we cling to in times of upheaval or change. But I was very fortunate, I guess, and amongst all my grief, that there was two particular friends that passed many years ago, and they used to sounds very strange, but they used to visit me in dreams. And during those dreams, they would share things with me, and we always met in the same place. In the dreams, they were always in this a valley, and I talk about that in the book. But they used to come to me and um, yes, like answer questions, and weirdly, they were questions that I'd been pondering during my waking hours. They've been questions that I've been, asking myself while I was, at work or sitting in the garden or anything like that. And then if I really separated myself from the desire to know, I know it sounds weird, but if I just spoke in a casual way, often just a couple of days later, they would appear in a dream and then answer those questions for me. So, in short, when I asked, are you safe? Are you okay? Those dreams were different because they were reassuring dreams. They came to me and said, look, we're doing fine. We're on a bit of a journey right now, that sort of thing. And it was very strange how it all happened. But it was always like I woke up feeling like it was real. Like I woke up feeling that these were more than just dreams. You know what I mean? So yeah, they became very reassuring, and I actually started to look forward to them and seeing them more as visits. But over time, they started to explain to me, the process of what happens after you cross, and I've never dared to even think about such a thing, because it was so obscure and so abstract. Anyway, so they started to chat about what they experienced, how they viewed the accident that took their life, how they were drawn to step outside their bodies, I guess, as the accident was taking place, and where they found themselves and what happened from there on in. They talked to me about hearing the accident, but it was so far away, and they assumed someone else had experienced it. That's how the transition, how peaceful it was. They just transitioned. Anyway, during the process of these dreams, they shared with me how, you know, they journeyed to other realms and other spaces to ponder and to question, journeying into the underworld. They explained to me how, when they hit the afterworld, what was there waiting for them, how they adjusted, how they were assisted in that adjustment, and also what happens when people are, what they go through during those experiences. So they referred to the underworld. They referred to this need to find answers for themselves. They explained the need to reassure. They found that they wanted to improve themselves. They talked about what they were doing in order to prepare for their next incarnation, even. It's been quite an amazing series of discussions, and I've written it all down in this book, and as best to my ability, to the point where even they described how we're able to be, and it sounds very weird, but like a lot of my friends are mediums, they're psychic mediums, and I've often wondered, how can you speak to the dead and talk about them as if they're here when we know they're supposed to be in heaven? Like these sorts of questions, like how can they be in two places at once? Are they able just to visit? How long does this visiting last? Do they see us? Like, do they watch us? All these sorts of things I've chatted about in my book, because they've explained how that transition takes place, how they're able to stay with us for so long, but then still also embark on their own healing journeys or their own journeys of discovery, or be on the other side of the world helping someone else. Like it's wonderful, that dialogue. I really enjoyed that dialogue with them over the years. In the dream state, they would come and share these stories. But anyway, so I was even fortunate enough to get a clear enough understanding of the transition period, and I'm just trying to find it here now. I've got a dear friend, Bo, his name is. He actually illustrated in the book, and we talk about it, the map of the afterworld, like the different levels, the different stages, the different chapters. And I'll hold it up a bit closer so you can. It's very symbolic, but it sort of paints the picture, particularly when it's matched with the words that I've written. I just find myself feeling so fortunate that I've been able to put something like that in paper. Anyway, it's been forwarded by a dear friend, Lisa Williams, who's a psychic medium. She's quite well known, very well respected. And for her to write a foreword just proved to me that Spirit wanted this out. For her to offer her words just was very humbling. And a lot of people have offered support since then, some very well-known authors and dear friends, and from, not necessarily authors, but just friends, dear friends who have offered support and endorsement. So if you are questioning about the afterlife, if you ever have wondered what happens after we pass, if you have had your own experiences of losing someone and you're wondering if they made it safe, what are they going through? What's it like there? What do they do? How are they able to visit? Why do they come and visit? All those sorts of things. What happens if they've died in an accident, or like a friend of mine, her brother? Like, what happens if they've committed suicide? Is there consequences? The boys have answered all those questions for me, and I've put them all into words. So if you're interested at all, I'll get a bit teary because it's such an emotional topic. If there's any questions, I've written this book as a way of helping. I'm not a psychic medium myself, so it's not about stories about how I've chatted to the dead or clients or any of those sorts of things. It's just purely my own experiences, my own understanding of the afterworld, what it feels like to lose someone and just go and feel so desperate, all you want to do is go search for them. Does that make sense? So I hope, my desire is that this book will help people, help them with their grief, help them with their healing, but also help them help others with the knowledge that they get from reading my book and interacting with the spirit world in such a way. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. I hope I've not rambled too much, and I hope I've given you a bit of a taste of what the book's about and why I've written it. And obviously, if you'd like to know more, you can visit animaldreaming.com, or my publishers, animaldreamingpublishing.com. It's all on the website there, and you can order a copy, and if you let me know, I'd be more than happy to sign it for you. So you have a great day. I hope my little chat has given insight. I hope it's given thought, fuel for thought. And if you have any questions, I hope you know that you can reach out. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate your support. Bye-bye.